Now today, we are trading in the hustle and bustle of city life for some country comforts. Now, when it comes to comfort food, I think of chili, I think of pot pies. So today, I'm just gonna smash those two things together in the kitchen, and I'm feeling very excited about it. I am gonna make my veggie chili pot pie with a cornbread topping. How does that sound? Yeah. Honestly, I'm very excited about this one. I love a good chili. Like my mom, it's one of her favorite things in the world. It's kind of like a stew. It's kind of like a shepherd's pie, but it's chili and it's great. We're gonna do a vegetarian chili today though. It's really, really simple, super easy. If you wanted to sub in some meat for this, totally go for it, but I'm gonna show you my veg chili recipe first. So I've got a pot here over medium heat. That's just heating up real nice. I'm gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use any sort of oil here you want. Olive oil is usually my go-to for cooking. Now into there, I'm gonna start building flavors with my vegetables. So the first thing I need is onion. Any good chili, I feel like, starts with onion. So I've got 2 yellow onions here that I've just diced up. You can go really chunky if you want. You can go a little finer. We've got kind of like a medium normal dice here. So I'm gonna add those right on into the pot. Give those a little bit of a stir. And then for some additional veg, I love like a pepper, like a bell pepper in my chili. It gives a bit of crunch, gives a little bit more like vitamin C, which is always good. So I'm gonna go in with 2 bell peppers. I'm doing a red and a yellow, honestly, just because it's cute. You can do any single color you want. You do you, whatever you got hanging around in that produce drawer that's looking a little sad, chuck it in your chili. I know you got one. I got one at home right now. It's the one that you cut off the end and you're like, it's fine, no one will see that part. It's gonna be good. All right, I'm gonna season that up with a little bit of salt. You can also add in some pepper as well. But right now the salt basically is just to take out a little bit of that moisture and to help these cook down a little. Now I just want these to cook down for just about 4 to 5 minutes over that medium heat, just until they start to get a little bit tender and pick up just a bit of color. Now, for the magic of TV, we're gonna pretend that's already happened. But I'm gonna start building in more flavor. So again, after that 4 or 5 minutes, that's when I'm gonna build in kind of classic chili things, like really good aromatics. So the first thing I'm gonna go in is with garlic. So I've got 4 cloves here because I like a good punchy flavor. I was gonna rasp it, but I'm gonna chop it because I'm feeling lazy today, even though I hate chopping garlic. Oh, it's my least favorite task in the kitchen. Any of those gadgets that chops garlic for you, I'm usually not a gadget girl, but honestly, go for it. Chopping garlic stinks. One of my favorite hacks is get the garlic, smash it. That does kind of half the chopping for you. And then just run your knife through. You can slice it, you can dice it, you can do whatever you'd like. I'm just gonna run it through. Then go the other way. There you go, beautiful. I like big chunky garlic because this does cook for a good little while, so it gets nice and tender and sweeter. And garlic's kind of funny. The more you chop it or the more you mince it up, the sharper and stronger it gets. So even though these are big chunks of garlic, it's not gonna taste like a vampire's worst nightmare in there. It's gonna be great. All right, give that a bit of a stir. And then for a little bit of heat, I'm going in with a jalapeno pepper. Now, lately jalapeno peppers have been nice and spicy. Not the ones I grew. Those were basically green bell peppers. I don't know what I did. But I've taken the ribs and seeds out just to pull back on that heat a little. And since I am cooking this jalapeno, that heat gets pulled back again. If you're really nervous about heat, or maybe you're making this for kids, feel free to leave that out or sub it out for a poblano. Usually the bigger the pepper, the less spicy it is. So a bigger green pepper, less spicy than a jalapeno. All right, give that a good stir. And I just want that garlic and that pepper to toast off for about a minute, just to kind of cook down that flavor. You can smell that jalapeno, get a little spicy. What a delight. But now we're gonna start building in the chili flavors that are gonna make this taste like I've been cooking it over a campfire out in the Wild West for a day and a half. You know that low and slow chili flavor you're looking for? Well, I don't have time for that. I don't think anybody does in the year 2024. So I'm gonna go in with a can of tomato paste. Just a whole can goes right on in, because somebody else has taken this tomato mixture and cooked it down for a very long time. So that is just concentrated, rich and thick tomato. Really tasty. It makes anything you put it in taste basically like you've been cooking it down forever, which is always a delight. You can tell all your friends and family that you were. I won't tell anybody, but thank you, tomato paste, for that little hack. Now, for some spices, I'm going in with some classic chili seasoning. The first thing I need is obviously chili powder. Chili powder is beautiful. It's got a little bit of heat to it, but not too much. So I'm gonna go in with 1.5 tablespoons. That sounds like a lot, but I can probably guarantee that your chili powder at home has been sitting in there for a little while. So usually if my spices are old, I usually just add more of them. Then when you toast them, it brings the oils back, it brings the flavors back. But really they don't go bad, they just start tasting a little dusty. But if you toast them and use a bit more, gonna be perfect. Now into there, I'm also going in with 2 teaspoons of cumin. I love adding cumin into any sort of vegetarian dish because it kind of tastes meaty. Like it's a little smoky. It's got a little bit of a lemony hint to it, which I really like. So that's gonna go right on in. And then my other secret weapon, anytime I'm doing something veggie and I want it to taste nice and meaty, is smoked paprika. That kind of tastes like the bacon of your spice cupboard, which is always a good thing. Bacon without the spittin', what a delight. So I'm gonna go in with 2 teaspoons of that. And then for a little bit of extra heat, I'm gonna go in with just half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Again, you can pull this back if you're feeling it. It does mellow out as this cooks, but I like a little bit of heat, so half a teaspoon is gonna go in. Now, this is a little bit, maybe not from like Canada, North America, West. Maybe we're going to France here a little bit, but I'm gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard in here. Now, this is like your French country cooking. There you go. I really like the Dijon mustard, though. It gives a really nice kind of round, sharp flavor into there. It's really tasty. So about 2 teaspoons of that goes right on into the pot. And again, that just builds depth in like no time flat. So a total dream. So give that a stir and let that toast up. You can smell that tomato paste. You can smell all of those chili seasonings. That's gonna cook down for just another minute or so. And then I'm gonna add in my protein. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is brown off some ground beef before you add all this, take it out, and then re-add it now. But as opposed to using ground beef, I'm going in with beans, and I'm gonna use something else as well. So I've got 2 cans of beans here. I've got black beans and red kidney beans. Again, for cuteness, really, that's pretty much it. If you just wanted to use black beans, go for it. Just red kidney, fantastic. I do like to use a darker bean, just because I think it looks more chili-like. Now, I've popped those in, drained and rinsed. Give that a good stir. And then this is my kind of hack for giving this like, kind of the texture of like a ground meat chili. I've got a block of extra firm tofu here. Does it look like a sponge? Yes. If you haven't had tofu before, honestly, it doesn't have a ton of flavor. I actually like it. It's very soft, but when you mix it into this with all of those spices, it's just gonna taste like chili. So what you're gonna do, this is also fun, is just crumble it up, which is a delight. So just mush it up, and then it turns into almost kind of like a ground meat mixture. You know, you can buy those veggie ground things at the grocery store. Honestly, totally delicious. What a delight. But this is a really easy way to get that protein in there really, really quickly without having to buy like a special kind of thing. So just crumble that in as big or as small as you'd like. Give your hands a little bit of a wipe off after, and give that a stir to combine. Now, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of tomato. So I've got a can of diced tomatoes here. You can use any sort of tomatoes you've got. Juices and all go right on in, as well as about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of veg broth. I just add in enough to make it nice and kind of stewy. That's just gonna bring it together. Now, I wanna bring that up to a simmer and let that go over that medium heat for just about, I'd say, 15 minutes, just to bring those flavors together, and you're gonna have a delicious smelling chili. But I promised you a pot pie, so we have to make the topping for that real quick over here. So we're gonna do a cornbread, because I can't have chili without some cornbread. So I've got a bowl here, and into there, this is my super simple cornbread recipe. The first thing I need, obviously, is some cornmeal. So I'm going in with a cup of yellow cornmeal, just regular ground cornmeal. This is something I always have in my pantry. Now, for the flour, you can go in with all-purpose. You could do whole wheat if you're looking for it. I'm going all-purpose, just a cup of that goes in. Then for a little bit of sweetness, but also a little bit of depth, I'm going in with a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. If you only have, I love a molasses. We got some molasses, people. Honestly, what's more cowboy sounding than like molasses, you know? So I'm going in with that. If you only have regular brown sugar, that's fine. Or if you only have white sugar, that will work too. It just will get a little crispier. This gives a bit more flavor, which I absolutely love. So I'm gonna give that a whisk. And then for a little bit of leavening, I'm going in with 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That's a good amount of baking powder because this is gonna get nice and fluffy. Because we've got that cornmeal in there, this makes it heavier. So that baking powder is gonna lift that up. Going in with a teaspoon of kosher salt, give that a mix. And then for the wet ingredients, all I need is about 1 cup of buttermilk. I like the buttermilk because it kind of reacts with that baking powder to give you extra lift. 1/3 cup of melted butter, because who doesn't like butter with their cornbread, right? We're good. I like this crowd. This is a good one. Then I'm going in with 1 egg. That's just gonna bind everything together. At this point, you could mix in cheese, you could mix in more jalapenos if you wanted to, but just give that a mix together. And this is gonna be the easiest cornbread. Honestly, there's still little chunks of that brown sugar in here. I'm not mad at that. That's gonna be almost like little caramelly bits in there, which sounds kind of strange with the chili, but it works so beautifully. But that is as easy as cornbread gets. Give it a mix, and you are done. So now, to bring this whole thing together, if I can get that out of whisk jail. You know whisk jail? No, I know what I'm talking about. It's all good. Okay. So now I'm gonna top this chili. So I've got one that's been simmering away right here, looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm just gonna get this beautiful cornbread mixture, and you can either dollop it or just spread it on top. You can already see that baking powder at work. It's nice and fluffy. I'm just gonna kind of pour that right over top. This seems like you're ruining it, but it's almost gonna cook up like a dumpling, like a crispy on the top, steamed on the bottom dumpling. So just spread that out nice and thin, just until it reaches the edges. Then you're gonna pop that into a 400-degree oven. That goes in for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until that cornbread is beautiful and golden brown. This is the hardest part of the recipe, is getting this giant thing in the oven, especially when you have your cowboy boots on, because we're going country. Oh my gosh, get ready for this. This looks like a total showstopper. You pop this down on your table, everyone is gonna feel welcome, everyone's gonna feel excited. Look at that beautiful cornbread. Absolutely delish. Now to serve that up, obviously we've got all my favorite chili toppings, some green onion, maybe do a little bit of a, where's my scoop? I can't say no to eating. I know we have to go to commercial, but I'm gonna eat this. Okay, just get right in there, that crispy topping. You break right through it. Everybody gets a little bit of cornbread, and then that beautiful chili right underneath. Get that out of there. Oh, it's hot. Okay, I'm excited. Honestly, top this off. Personally, I'm a sour cream girl, so we're going in with some sour cream. Maybe a little bit of some cheddar cheese on there. A little bit of some green onion, and you, my friends, have quite the most delicious dinner. Okay, give it a go. Woo, that's hot, but that is... Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.